Congratulations. Your book is soon to be released. The What If It Were Easy, Using Movements and Mindsets to Create Success in Life, Love, and Business. What's that been
That's
like for you kind of building up to this release? Because obviously a lot goes into making a book and a lot of effort and hard work. And now it's coming up to that day where the public can finally read it.
Yeah, it has been quite the journey. And I had been warned quite a lot. This is going to be really hard. And so for someone who's like, what if it were easy? What if it were easy? I guess you just keep taking one step at a time. I originally thought that I would be releasing it at the end of 2020,
Oh,
when the world changed. And instead, I ended up doing a complete overhaul and rewrite of it. So it took a little bit longer than I actually expected, but I feel like it was, in the end, it was worth it. And I'm happy that I did do that. So yeah, it's kind of nice to be at this stage where it's actually talking about it and putting it out in the world, and hopefully having people be able to access it and read it and do it.
yeah. I mean, obviously a lot's changed since 2020, and this has been a long process for you considering seems
It's
like
been a
forever
very
ago.
long process, but I was saying the other day, I was in a way, it's almost better timing for the subject matter in the book, because so much of it is around what is it that you really, really, truly want. And I think that's one of the things that happened during COVID. People were like, what do I actually want? We stopped for a second to ask that question and look at it. And I think we also became a little bit more conscious about movement and mindset during that period of time, and kind of mental health and overall wellness. And this addresses that as well. So in a very different way, I think, than most books about health and wellness, because I use movement to actually help you achieve goals. It's not just about being healthy or just about fitness, both of which are really important and great things, but it has an additional component.
Yeah, and I have to say, has your inspiration for it changed from when you first wrote it to then 2020 happening to now releasing this newer version of it?
Yeah, I think it has. I think I was part of the collective change in this attitude, And so I think it drove home to me the importance of it, and the value of it, and even more how it can actually help people. And at the end of the day, that's, I guess, my purpose, my truth, why I, get excited to wake up in the morning. So yeah, I feel more deeply connected and more passionate about getting it out there.
Yeah, and if you could describe this book and this experience in 3 words, what would they be?
The book and the experience. Can I separate those?
You can separate them. You do whatever you want.
Well, I think challenge is actually one of the things that both the book was, and I think the book addresses. What's a challenge in your life? And easy is not necessarily, people are like, but it's not easy. And I'm like, I get it. It's not always easy. I'm not saying, hey, let's just have a Pollyanna viewpoint, like whatever we're easy, it's all easy. But what it does do is it gives you permission. It gives you permission to open to what you truly want, to really hear what's inside. And so I do think, I'd say challenge and easy. I constantly had to recalibrate that and ask myself that question. Well, what if it were easy? What would you do next? And so I used a lot of what I wrote about in the process of it. So I'd probably say easy would be second. And then last, because it's just, I can't do anything, I think, without bringing up the word possibility. I love possibility. And I think that's what this provides to other people. And I guess if I were to look at it from a personal process, possibility for me as well.
Yeah, definitely. And you've accomplished a lot in your career so far. You're a motivational speaker, you're an actress, lifestyle expert, now author. What's something that you would want to tell your younger self that you've learned throughout all of these careers and journeys?
Mhm. It all adds up. I think I think when I was acting, and I never dreamt that I would be doing this. In fact, I had a good friend who was who was trying to be a coach or wanted to be a coach, and I was like, "Yeah, you should be the next Tony Robbins." And I was giving her advice on what she should do and how she should do it. And I'll never forget. She looked at me and she's like, "Why don't you become the next Tony Robbins?" And I stopped in my tracks at that moment. I was like, well, I don't really want that. I really need that so that I can actually excel in my acting career. And that was how I felt at the time, but it evolved significantly. And that really took place when I was pregnant with my daughter. And since I studied mindset so much to try to survive the acting industry. And I became that kind of person that people would ask me questions about and come to for help. And so I thought, hey, maybe I'll just get a coaching certification. I can actually do this for real and really be able to help people. And that was like a light switch went off. I was like, oh, this is fun. This is actually meaningful. This makes a difference. But so I think my younger self would never have dreamt that that shift would have happened. And it wasn't as if I like gave up everything overnight. It was a process and sort of shifting over into this and sort of accepting and owning this new identity for myself. But it does all add up, and the experiences that I had in acting, both from the studies that I had and the actual real life experience of being on set and being with so many different kinds of people, made a huge difference or makes a huge difference in what I'm doing now. So it all adds up. There's no mistakes. Even the mistakes are probably there for a reason.
They brought you to where you are today.
It is. And so I would say to people, if they're feeling frustrated or feeling like they're not where they are wanting to be, as long as they keep the vision of something that they're striving for, where you are now might actually be informing part of where you're going.
Definitely. And my last question for you, you're obviously busy with this release, but what's next for you? Do you have any future projects or any plans that you'd like to see in the future?
So I'm definitely looking to do more speaking on this front, and I am going to be doing a live course together with this book to really help people dive deeply into it and to be able to be there to help them on that process. So those are two kind of big ones that are on deck for me. And I'd also like to do some retreats, because along this journey, I also had done some what I call empowerment adventures. So I would do these half-day adventures in combination with like a workshop. So it was themed. So like we kayaked to the Statue of Liberty, and that was about, riding the currents of your life. And we trapezed, and that was about letting go. What do you need to let go of? Or rock climbing, what's the wall standing in the way of your life? And so I really love that. I love adventure, and it's another way of combining your body and your mind and movement in your mind in a different capacity. And I would love to bring that back in some way. And I think in a retreat setting, we'd be able to do a little bit of everything.
Yeah, those sound so cool. I would definitely love to see those for you in your future.
Yeah, cool. Come along. Come do it with me.
I will be there. Just tell me when and where.
You got it.
Yes. But
Yeah,
congratulations on everything again, and thank you so much for your time.
absolutely. Thank you for having me.